Good morning. I am Tessa-Marie, and welcome to the Morning Blessings, where you will get a vitamin to uplift your day, where you will get a couple words that will make you feel like, hey, I'm okay. I am worthy. I have a right to be here. Stacey, good morning. I'm so rushing so late. I couldn't send you a greeting. But here you are. Hello, Ryan. Oh, hello, my sweet ESP. I talked about you yesterday. I'm saying, you know what? I was on that lady's show and I recommended it to somebody. Hi, Lenford. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Lisa. How are you, wonderful people? Good morning. And how are you today? Today, we are having a rainy day, so that's good because, we always have sometimes good weather and sometimes not so good weather, but here we are. So welcome to the Morning Blessing. Hello, Colleen. Good morning. And let us get the show on the road. It's 8 o'clock. There's no time to waste. Come on, guys. Look at our topic today, rejection. Not in a bad way. Remember, rejection. So, let's talk about 3 stages of rejection. We associate the word with rejection of a love situation. And no, it is not about that today. So, sometimes when we hear the word rejection, we think it's a love situation that's gone crazy. My tea for today is honey and ginger. And here we go. It is just that kind of morning. And then at the bottom of this dress, that's where all the designs are. So I decided to put a brooch on. So I'll show you what the hem of the dress looks like. Can you see this? That's the hem of the dress. So anyway, it's all embroidered and it's a pretty dress, comfortable to wear, side zipper, loose, and it has a little hook to keep the straps together. Isn't that nice? It's an old dress. I think I got it in 2007 and here it is, still going strong. So let's get it. I want to push you a little bit further. I want to shake you up. We associate the word with rejection of a love situation, a love affair, and it's not always all about that. So let us look about the first stage of rejection. When your advice falls on barren soil, when your advice falls in the desert, where there is no water, there is no growth, far from what you would call the oasis, there is nothing, just sun and sand. The advice you have given has fallen that low. What do? You have to remember, we all have to remember that we are not responsible entirely, especially responsible, that we give the advice and it is taken. We have to learn to accept that others are going to choose their journey regardless of how committed, how caring, how loving, how much we want them to succeed. So do not feel bad. Do not feel hurt. Do not sit there and think, oh my goodness, I gave such good advice. And that person, they walked away from the advice. That is their choice. That is part of their destiny. That is how they choose. And it's very important to remember your advice is exactly that. A hint, a little caution, a little hey, that's good. But sometimes they need to feel it for them to experience it. They have to have that experience and they need to feel. And maybe they might turn back and say to you, hello, I am so happy you did this for me. And I took it 20 years later. And maybe most times, 99.9% of the time, they say they don't do that because they still haven't taken the advice. They will tell a story though. They will tell somebody else. Once I was given an opportunity to take this advice, I did not value where it was coming from. I did not think that person was good enough to give me the advice that I seek. I maybe should have stopped, but I didn't. And now I am telling you, when you get an advice, pick part of it and use what it is you can to enhance you. Not all of it always works. And that is why when I come to the morning blessings with you, I tell you there are 3 things you will get. I always tell you, you will get a golden nugget. And I describe to you what happens in a nugget. A golden nugget, if you have one, a piece of gold that is actually a nugget, or look it up, it has crevices, tiny little areas where things are hidden. And that tells you that tiny nugget has so much to offer you if you only take the time to go in and dig it out. But guess what? Then I ask you to consider the value, the beauty of a black pearl, and how many depths the divers have to go to find that oyster. It's not on the seashore. By the time the shell gets to the seashore, the pearl has gone. To get it, to know when it is the right time to pick it, to look at the color of the shell and decide, hey, it's the right one. It's good enough. It's at the right level for us to pick. And that's when they bring it up to the surface. And the value and it costs lives, the lives of the diver perhaps, or the divers who didn't get it, the lives of a person who owns it and somebody wants it. So you see, advice comes in all shapes and sizes. And then the diamond, the pink Canadian diamond, rare, very rare. Where are those mines? Up north, where it's cold and where it's deep. And we all know what happens when you go into a mine. So that's how advice will come to the door. We choose. And sometimes we are given the diamond in our hands. Here, this is for you. And yet we cannot recognize the value and the information it holds that will propel you to where you desire to be. And that for sure is something we have to learn to get. So when we give advice, remember that the advice receiver has to be in the moment. They have to want it. They have to be aware that, hey, not all of this will I take, but I'll take a little bit of it. I always talk to you with things that are funny. Not too many of you have done this. Or many of you have. I'm just making an assumption, which is entirely wrong to make. So you have this tube of toothpaste, and you squeezed it, and you bent it, and you've gotten as much as you can. Then there are those of us who takes a pair of scissors, we cut it in half, and we have more toothpaste to last another week. And when we do that, our children look at us and they think, especially when they start to be adults, do you need to do this? And then one day, years later, somebody shows up and puts this for recycling. You pick it up and you look at it. Some fancy toothpaste that was bought. And the tube is cut in half. Whereas yours, when you were done, had a little bit in the crevices. In this case, there is nothing in the crevice. That is my experience. If I had said to my daughter, when you're done with a tube of toothpaste, cut it open and scrape the last bit out of it, I would have got no, Mom. That's all I would have got, oh, Mom. But no, life is funny. So when you believe the advice you gave to that person and they're going through life and it's not coming, remember, there is something that's going to stick. My attitude towards that is this: the cream must come up to the top. I believe whatever advice we give to our children and grandchildren and to our siblings, that one day, whenever, even if their life is falling in the gutter, even if they're having a disturbing time, even if you have to show up and rescue again, like the parent, the friend, the sister, the brother, the whatever, remember and believe that what you gave them, the advice you gave them, will show up one day. And if you can do that, then the world is yours. If you can remember that, You will never believe you did not do your best as a parent. I need to know who's here, so let me see. This thing isn't moving. Stacey, thank you. Arita, thank you for coming. Georgie, sweetie, all of you wonderful people, thank you. So that is the advice that we believe. When we give it to them, it falls in the desert. It falls on stones where there is nothing to grow. I think there's this thing in the Bible about that. It falls on, good morning, Grandma. It falls on ground that is not fertile. But sometimes, just sometimes, the advice we give them, especially those close to us, or those we bore, or those we contribute to their birth, doesn't fall right away where we desire to go. But remember that yes, one day it shows up. And remember that. So that's the story about our advice in number one. When we believe it falls on barren soil, on dry soil, no water, no fertilizer, it's not going to do it. You get up one day and you find the tube of toothpaste is cut in half, just like you did maybe when you were younger, when ends weren't meeting financially close together, and you had to use your mind, how will I make that tube of toothpaste last one more week? Because payday is next week. And then you see your child doing this, your niece doing it, somebody's telling you, I followed it. So it doesn't always fall on barren soil. There's something that falls into the crevice of that nugget. And if you dig, you will find it. And that's advice when what you say is rejected, number one. When your advice scares someone. So, advice you give to somebody, and sometimes they need it, they come to you for it. But when you give them the advice, it's flipping scares them. What you are saying to them scares them. They do not understand that what you are telling them is to go in and dig deep. I am faced with that often, because of what I do. And I get this. I come from poverty. I had a father that was detached. I had a mother that did her best, but she was never recognized by my detached father. Good morning and hello, sweetie. And now I am doing my best. And the first 10 minutes, hello Yuko, good morning, how are you feeling today? Of the conversation is all about the past, the childhood, which they had absolutely no control over. They can be 40 years old and they're still feeling like that little girl who is not sure, that little boy, when they get to the cash register, there'll be money there. No matter what I say, you know what it is, Tessa-Marie, I get? To stand at the cash register and realize my mama has no money to pay, not enough to pay, and she has to put something back. You know how many times I went through that? I said, no, I don't know. I was not there with you. But what I know for sure, you have a choice to make now. And that choice is to decide how you can change it. When Yuko shared with us her trip to Japan, she told us how it felt to put that card in the machine, and she was able to take off as much money as she could. She said, I noticed my stomach did not go frightened that I wouldn't have the money in the machine when I put the card in. And what she said, Tessa-Marie told me, you can have a vacation account and you can put a small amount every time you get paid and let it build. And she swears by her vacation account. So when I offer that advice, many times it falls on what I said, Deaf ears. Oh, Tessa-Marie. I said, yeah, you can do it. Oh, Tessa-Marie, I cannot do it. I do not have it. I'm not good enough. Look at where I come from. Look at my whole life. It's all about my parents not having enough. My father was so detached. He did his own thing, yet he was in the house. I hear all of that. But no, your father is dead. And I will remind you that his bones, the angels are using his bones in heaven to play music. They're the angels' trumpet, the leg bone. What do you call them? You know them. I'm not into science. My children are. The arm bone. That would be a nice trumpet, right? It even curves. So the angel has that. And you're still lamenting that. I wasn't trained properly. I went to the wrong college. I'm not good enough. My job did not pay me, did not honor me. And I'm saying, stay there. And I'm saying to be grateful. Oh, no, you know, I'm going to go another way. Gratitude is not, it just no. They do not understand to be grateful. You can breathe. So trying, you do not get it. And you feel as if you're wasting your time. That is rejection. They do not have any interest in what it is you're saying. There is a little opening. There is a crack. I can see the light because there is a crack. And they will tell me, I can see the crack, Tessa-Marie. I cannot see beyond the crack. And no matter how hard I try to say, it's when it is cracked that you can see through. You can see the light. And that's when you have a choice to do something about it. And to get that person to let go of the crack and see the light within the crack doesn't exist. They give up. They stop pedaling. They stop paddling. They stop walking. They just freeze. And then they go back to the same old habit. They go back to comfort, the comfort of being in debt, the comfort and the victim and the blaming remains the same. They blame everyone. And yet there you are, and you're digging, and you're digging through all that debris in their mind, in their feelings, in their energy, in the vibration. And you're saying, if we just stay on it, dig a little deeper, we will find where it is that you can do something about it. And they will tell you, thank you for your advice, but I've decided to go another way. What do you say? Thank you for giving me the opportunity to have helped you. I'm disappointed we couldn't do this. You couldn't take the advice. And that is what you have to remember. They will say to you, you know what? You're not working. You're retired. You're old. You don't understand this world as it has changed. It's the same damn world. It hasn't changed that much. Humans are still humans. So that is what they will tell you. You don't know, you don't work, there is so much competition. There was always competition. They think there is no competition when we were young. Try getting a job as a woman. Try saying you want to do this as a woman and tell you women don't do that. You're better off staying at home and work in the kitchen and be pregnant and wait for daddy. Remember when the woman couldn't even discipline her children in the sitcoms of the 50s, 60s, whatever. Wait till your father comes home. Can you imagine I waited for people to come home to discipline people in my house? I don't know what would have happened to them. By the time the father comes home, and I was there first, I pull the ears, I send the shoes in the wrong direction, I sent a lawn chair across the garden and lost a fingernail in the process, but they knew I was coming. So, and our children are telling us today that the world is much harder than it was when we were growing up. No, it isn't. The only thing is that we did not know how to quit. The women of the suffragette movement did not know how to quit. And that is the thing we are getting I cannot be bothered. It takes time though, because they're raised in a point and click. They believe the entire world is on point and click. And then there is no money because you point and you click. And Uber brings the mail that costs $50 to your house because you point and click. But if you even took your time and you took the bus, and as I did in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, and go down to the place, the market where the food is sold for less, the produce, the fish, the meat, where they gave you chicken back and chicken whatever wings for free, because in those days they didn't know the value of chicken gizzard and chicken liver. They gave it to you, or soup bones. You could get a bag of soup bones as big as your head, and it was free at the butcher. You walked in and you took it, and you cooked it, and you made soup. And then somebody comes to work with my daughter Jillian, and they bring her a pint, a mason jar, and it has a substance that looks like tea. And she's more excited than Jillian. She said, Jillian, I have this to show you. Have you ever had bone broth? Have you ever had bone broth? Jillian looked at it and she mean, you mean bone soup? You mean beef soup? You mean... And she said, oh no, it's broth. It's not soup. Hear the word, right? We know about broth. But all of a sudden, that beef bone, you put some, what do you call it? Help me. Anyway, turnips and carrots in it. And she said to Jillian, you have never had it in your life. She's trying her best to tell this person, my mother is West Indian. We drink soup on weekends. We have soup. And Jillian said to me, I'll take it. She brought it to me. Mom, what do you think of that? I think this is the worst thing I've ever created. I tasted it. So what I'm trying to tell you this morning, what I am saying to you is that you're going to get rejections when you want to give good advice. But that person that is not taking that rejection, that one that is telling you, I'm not good enough, I came from the other side of the track, things are terrible, things are this, things are that, right? That person, you cannot get through. You have to allow them to just relax. And the thing is though, do not say to them when they come back, hey, I am glad you came back. I really am glad. No, you know what, don't do that. Just say, okay, what would you like help with? Because they went around again and they stubbed their toe on the same stone. And it's okay. So that's how rejection can affect you. But you need to learn how to understand that they cannot move from it. When your advice is to live a life of abundance, to tell them, hey, live a life of abundance. Begin to be grateful that you can breathe. That is abundance. Remember, I talk about the pillars of prosperity. Being prosperous because you can breathe. Man, you are in charge. You're up there with the best of the best. You can breathe. Your heart is beating. Blood is flowing through you. You move your legs and you're standing. You're 78 years like me and you're standing to speak. And you continue through the day to do things and you walk and hey, be grateful. Be grateful that this morning you woke up and those legs touched the floor and you felt the sensation of pain. When I said that, Amma said, you make pain feel sexy. And I said, yeah, I get this sensation in my shoulder. And I go, okay, I'm looking after you. I'm taking care of you. It's not a pain, it's a sensation. And you're trying, you're doing your best to tell this person, live a life of abundance. The life of scarcity is all they know. They feel comfortable in that life. They blame father, mother, the candlestick maker, scarcity. They're afraid. Do you realize that there are people that are afraid to be wealthy? And because they're afraid to be wealthy, if you give them the advice, they will reject it because they're comfortable in a life of scarcity. It's comfort. And our subconscious mind does not love change. That's why when we get up in the morning, the body is the subconscious mind. It does not enjoy waking up. It likes to stay and do the same thing over and over again. So when you say to that person who lives in a life of never having enough, and you are telling them, in order for you to get more, be grateful and appreciate what you've got now, they will never understand it. They will not understand it. And those type of beliefs are injected into them all their life. And sometimes it's so well-meaning because we believe that the thing called religion says, hey, rich people are bad. They're terrible. Money is the root of all evil. They'll never get to heaven. You never see them. The camel is going to make this trip. These rich people, they are not making it. They're going to be dancing and eating fine foods and fine wines in hell. But they're not coming to the heaven of scarcity, where you sit and you just pray all the time. But is that what it is? Is that what life is all about? We have to realize that we cannot constantly live in a world of scarcity. But we do. And when we try, someone gives us the advice to say, you can do better, you know that, right? It will take a little bit of time. But hey, it took you 5 years to find yourself in this position, didn't it? Well, nobody taught me. I said, well, no, I'm teaching you. No answer. I just cannot do this. You have no idea how difficult that is to do. Yes, I do. I know how it is to decide, hey, a choice. $1.75 in the credit union every 2 weeks, or $1.75 in my pocket that goes somewhere and I have no idea where to find it. It is difficult to make the choice. Why $1.75? Why did people say to both Floretta and I, you guys are stupid. All you are saving is $1.75. Where will that take you? But we wanted more. And we knew we needed to start somewhere. A journey of 1,000 steps starts with one. When you turn on the engine of that car and the headlight comes on, you can only see 100 yards, no more. Until you move it to that 100-yard mark, nothing happens. So when somebody advises you and tell you, get off your comfort zone, and when I ask you to, hey, try waking up early in the morning. If when you wake up at 8 or 7, you feel foggy or froggy, like the kids say when they don't know the difference, right? Then just get up a little bit earlier. And then ask yourself, why did I do this? Because Tessa-Marie said, the energy of the world is different. How do I feel the energy? You don't even have to go outside. You can stand at an open window and say, what is she talking about? What does the energy of the world feel like at 5 a.m.? What is happening? The birds are awake and they're tweeting away. And then you hear different songs, right? But then all of a sudden, there is nothing for maybe 30 seconds. That is when the birds are absorbing the energy of the songs of others. We have to do the same. But when we get this type of advice, it doesn't have a point and click answer, immediate type of result. We fall back on it, we let it go. And we go on our comfortable journey, waking up at 8, wishing to have caught the early train to work, and rushing and stumbling and tripping and falling all the way to the office. Or you have ever seen the man who got stuck in the subway door. Do not rush for moving trains. The train wouldn't move, but the doors have decided to hold him in half in the subway. Why? Somewhere along the line, he was late. Intentionally, maybe not. Maybe it was another train. But the point is, he was stuck at that moment. And perhaps it was because the early train was early and he was late. The early bird catches the worm. There is no, I told you all about it already. So these are the 3 phases of rejection that you will get besides the love one. We won't talk about that one today. So when advice falls on somewhere where there is no soil, when your advice scares someone and they start saying, I'm not talented, I'm not good enough, I come from a poor family. When your advice is to live a life of abundance, oh my God, Tessa-Marie, rich people die and they don't go to heaven. I actually hear that talk. So you see, when you are rejected, remember it has nothing to do with you. I have always told you, don't go giving unsolicited advice. But if they come and sit on your kitchen chair and ask and you offer, remember, they do not have to take it. And do not feel hurt or do not feel disparaged that they did not take it. The next person will come and the next. And remember, every time you're told no, your advice that they ask for is not good enough, remember there is one yes. And if all we do at the end of our lifetime is to know for sure that that tiny nugget I gave to Yuko to save for a vacation account work out. Or when I said to Kathleen, in those days, $27 is too expensive at this time to pay for a bra. And of course, there's the famous $27 bra girl. So when Kathleen comes on and she tells you what she does today and where she is living in a $1.14 million house with her husband and her daughter, it didn't start there. It started from her choosing the bra for $10 or the $27 bra in those days. But today, Kathleen goes on 3-4 vacations a year. She's an Aquarian. They love to travel. And she takes her daughter and she still does things. She still preps. She still starts from scratch. She still tells you about the sales. She still does that. And that is what happens. Because when she's only 40, but when she gets to be 61, she won't have a mortgage. When she gets to be 55, she won't have a mortgage. But she'll have the freedom and the health because she has decided to take care of herself. I know you and Kathleen share the same birthday, the 17th of February. And that is what you must remember. It doesn't matter where you are now. Learn something to change something in your life. Seek advice. Just ask. I will tell you what to do for free. I will charge you if you have the money. If you don't, I'll say, okay, I'll help you until you can do it better. Because to take you from where you are and lift you one step higher on the rung of the ladder to success fills my heart. Hi, Lynn. Good morning. A little bit late, but you are here, and that's what matters. Have a wonderful morning. Let me see who, so many of you came and I didn't say anything. So Lynn, hi Nancy, I didn't see you there. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Stacy, Rita, Georgie, Lisa, Colleen, Ryan, my nephew, Loretta, and Londi. Thank you so much for dropping by. It has been a pleasure and a privilege to speak with you guys today. So it is Thursday. I'm going to do my YouTube at 12. And I don't know, I think I will be talking about rejection in love. And that's because we always do a love thing at the YouTube thing at 12. It's only 15 to 20 minutes, nothing like this. But it's fun to do that because you're talking to no one and everyone. Have a wonderful and special day. And remember, your advice, even when solicited, is not always going to be taken. Enjoy yourself and have a great day. Thanks, Georgie. Looking forward to that. From Indiana to Canada. Thank you. Great topic. Thank you, Londi. Tessa, I'll call you in a bit. Thanks, Stace. So let me see what you guys said. And Stacey sometimes says things to me that I need to read over. I give my advice to so many friends and family. They don't take it. That's okay too. That's not amazing if not. No, you have to sometimes When they ask, give. If they don't ask, listen and smile. And if they're doing something and you cannot see what it is, listen and smile. Because not everybody's going to take it. Everybody is not for us. And you have to remember that. Because as I said, the nugget has several crevices. The black pearl comes in various sizes, different prices. The Canadian diamond, also the same. They're hard. So sometimes when you say, I didn't get anything, you got a diamond. It's hard. It is built under pressure. That is how it's formed. So maybe you are going through it now, rejection from others. That's under pressure, the pressure to make you that fine diamond. Have a great day. Talk to you later. See you guys at 12, those who can join me. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you for coming.